everyone. Welcome into the Packers visitors locker room. I am Olivia Reiner, and today I am joined by Jim Ozarski, and we are here to chat with you guys on behalf of Packers News about Packers practice, everything that's going on this week leading up to Sunday's big game against the Chicago Bears. Looking forward to it, Jim? Ready for the 16, 18-degree weather?
No. The 200th Bears-Packers game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big
This will
number.
be my seventh? This will be my seventh.
This will be my third.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I missed the first
Yeah, when you
one
moved
last year.
you moved into Soldier Field last year.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia brought in like 9 suitcases into Soldier Field.
That's not true. Okay. I had a whole suitcase of my camera gear, right? So one suitcase.
I don't know.
There was not.
I think you were
multiple
blocking the view of
suitcases.
Packers PR. That's what
I
I
was,
remember
and
most.
I got a little grief from them, so they had some thoughts. I try not to do it so much anymore, but it is easy to just stuff all my camera gear into the suitcase and just move into the press box like that.
Now we know that we have to make sure that that's not in Ryan Wood's way, so he doesn't tumble down.
Oh
any
yeah,
suitcases.
Ryan apparently is injury prone, accident prone, tumbling
Good
all
for all
over
of
the
you
place.
for hanging out with him and keeping him upright.
Yes.
Yesterday on Facebook
If
Live.
you were not with us yesterday, Ryan took a tumble yesterday in the media auditorium in front of all of us down the stairs.
Yeah.
It was very, at first distressing, but once I knew it was Ryan and once I knew that it was okay, we all shared a little laugh together.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, hello to everybody over on Facebook. Hello to Craig in Calgary.
There we
Wow.
go.
Hello, Calgary. The weather will be almost identical between the two places this weekend.
Wow.
That sounds reasonable for Calgary. Yeah. I haven't been to Calgary. It's on my list of places to go visit. Steve wants to know, has LaFleur talked yet? He talked an hour and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
Yep. So that conversation is up over on the Packers socials if you would like to go listen to that. Josh says Packers-Bears is the best rivalry in football. It's got to be up there. The NFL decided to open their season, their 100th season, with Packers-Bears earlier this year.
I think that says something about it. I mean, I think, so being from Chicago, growing up there, the Packers game means a lot to Chicago fans. I feel, having been a Wisconsin resident for the better part of 15 years now, I feel sometimes like the Vikings are a bigger rival for the fan base, for the team. I think that's just, but, look, these teams met to go to a Super Bowl in 2010. They opened this season, so there have been some good ones.
Yeah.
Of late.
Perhaps.
So we'll see if Sunday matches up.
It might be another good one. It's a noon one. Not so used to Bears-Packers noon games.
Yeah, it's. I thought there might have been a chance it would move to 3:30, but there's LA Dallas, which has some I guess bigger playoff implications than just this one. And also matters for the Packers, by the way. If they beat the Bears and Dallas beats the Rams, the Packers clinch a playoff spot for the first time in 3 years.
So big implications.
Yeah.
Lots to watch if you're one of those couch potatoes on Sundays and you have Red Zone. I'm sure you're going to be very pleased to know what's going on all over the league. We'll be definitely staying tuned into what's going on, too, around the league as well. Let's see what we got from everybody. We're getting some questions. We got these yesterday, Jim, so why don't we go off with these first? So we've got Josh and Ryan asking how realistic is it that Odell Beckham Jr. could come to Green Bay. Apparently, he has shown some interest. After yesterday, we talked about it with Ryan. Ryan essentially said, probably not, but I haven't gone out and done any supplemental research. We obviously haven't done any reporting on it, although I shouldn't say obviously, Jim. Perhaps you've been working the phone asking about OBJ.
Well, Devontae Adams, commented on social media.
True.
No, I mean, he'd have to be acquired via trade. I think the financial element could work for the Packers, but, I think the Browns gave up a first. So, look, Brian Gutekunst couldn't meet the price for Khalil Mack. Maybe he could for Odell Beckham. I don't know. It's hard to say at this point, to be honest.
Do you think they could wait after the season's over? I don't think they're necessarily thinking right now.
No, I mean, with the trade deadline passed, this would have to come in February, March, April, before workouts start. So, it has more to do with Cleveland than the Packers. And what I mean by that is, does Odell Beckham Jr. make it untenable, kind of like he did in New York, to where Cleveland feels they have to move on? And I don't, considering Cleveland may have a coaching change, there's so many things that have to happen now that, based off some sort of secondhand anonymous reporting, that he's said he wants to go places. It's really not worth Packers fans getting that fired up about.
All right, so we're going to get no more questions about this, are we? No, we will continue to get questions about it, which is fine. That's okay. Let's see what else we got. I had somebody, in response to that, Josh says that if the Packers don't draft a top-tier wide receiver, then they should go for it. I think the Packers will draft a receiver in the top couple of rounds. Do you? Jim says
no.
Maybe not.
No, I think I mean Brian Gutekunst could surprise us, but I mean, if you're looking beyond potential playoffs and a team that wants to go to the Super Bowl, and we're talking about the draft and free agency already, honestly, if they don't re-sign Brian Bulaga, you got to be taking a tackle in the first round. And if honestly they might like Robert Tonyan and Jay Sternberger, but maybe you're thinking tight end early. So I just think the Brian Gutekunst values receivers a little later, and if the Packers are drafting in the late 20s, I mean, you might need to get a tackle. Even if they re-sign Bulaga, they might need to get one. So I just don't think the receiver thing, Packers fan, I think we're going to be arguing with Packers fans about this until I don't know when. Until this offense looks like the 49ers.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see the other side of it, though. Packers fans, if you want to...
They're used to having those guys.
Right.
But, was Nelson a second-round pick? Cobb was a second-round pick, so maybe you get a second-round pick, which is high.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think the first-round thing is happening.
Okay.
Those guys typically don't produce in year one anyway.
I don't think our friend Josh here is necessarily saying first pick of the draft.
Right.
I think it might be first couple of rounds. I don't know. Speak for yourself, Josh. But no, I think we'll see what they end up doing, but that's a good point there at tackle. Let's see what we got from our friends here. Someone had asked earlier. I'm trying to find.
So while you cycle through that real quick, practice report.
Yeah, didn't do
everybody, again, participating. Josh Jackson had a personal leave. He had a death in the family. His father passed away, so he's, going through that. But, the usual veteran stuff. Kevin King on a limited basis with the shoulder. Matt LaFleur seemed fairly optimistic that he might be able to go Sunday. But I think what's interesting with that, Olivia, is they might be willing to rest him until he's healthy. They did that for sure against Washington. I mean, you've got Tramon Williams and Chandon Sullivan to fill in. That's not a bad backup plan. So we'll see on Kevin King.
Yeah, and it worked pretty decently without having Kevin King out there. Chandon Sullivan, like you said, even Josh Jackson getting out onto the field as well. Why rush King back? I think at this point the Packers are playing for seeding, which is important, but why throw your injured player out there, your semi-injured player out there, risk him getting injured further just for seeding? Yeah,
they'll need Kevin King healthy and feeling good and confident and playing well to make any kind of run. Get that shoulder healthy.
Mm-hmm. Dan asks, what is the best way to attack the Bears defense, which is very good, and the Bears defense is very good in the red zone. They don't allow a lot of points. They are one of the best defenses in the league, as we all know. The Packers have been consistent in the red zone up until, I'd say, last game. They had some struggles getting the ball in, 2 for 4 in the red zone. It's an area they're going to have to improve upon against the Bears this weekend. They have to, Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, because he also has some control over this, have to be consistent with the run game. The Bears are third in the league. They only allow 3.7 yards a rush. Not great. However, I think 5 of the last 7 weeks, 6 of the last 8, basically since Oakland and London,
they've given up over 100 yards rushing, I think 5 times. Detroit had 98 in a close loss. So they're giving up rush yards. They're missing their top 2 inside linebackers. Akeem Hicks might be back, Olivia, but how much he's going to play coming off 8 weeks on IR. So even if the run game is not getting you 4.5 to 5, I think you have to keep chipping away at it because it's been proven over 6 to 7 weeks that the Bears will crack eventually against the run. And I think that allays that pass rush. Khalil Mack and Leonard Floyd only ever seems to sack Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, like in order to prevent that from happening, I think you just got to go. Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, they have to run the ball a ton Sunday, in my opinion.
Right, and then that way they can set up play action.
Yeah.
They can get the game going through the air as well, so it works both ways.
Yeah.
It's something that Matt LaFleur has talked about being an important part of this Packers offense, getting the run game going to establish the pass game as well. So we'll see how well they execute that. They had a good deal of success running the ball on Sunday against Washington. It was a bit more of a struggle in New York, but they found a way to work it out, having 4 active, healthy tight ends, getting in there, getting the receivers involved in the blocking too. It's been an all-hands-on-deck effort.
Yeah, it's a good point with the tight ends, and our Tom Silverstein mentioned this on the Green 19 podcast, how important it was last week to actually produce on the ground when Washington set out to stop it. Because San Francisco did, New York did, and Aaron Jones didn't quite work. Well, they figured something out against Washington. Well, the easiest thing to point to are the tight ends. Now, the flip side of that is Devontae Adams may not be on the field as much, and you saw that pass game kind of fit and spurt, and it didn't work all the time. So are they going to correct that against the Bears? That's tough to say. Yeah. But the tight end position and running out 3 tight ends, that's something to watch for.
Yeah, definitely interesting to keep an eye on. I'm sure they'll play around with it, see what's working, see what's not working. Who knows? Every game's going to be a little bit different, right? We've got Jaden asks, do you think the offense would have more success if Aaron Rodgers got the ball out faster and not just looked for big plays? Jaden, hello. Seeked out big plays? Sought out. Thank you. The words are tough for everybody. It's all good. Is that what he's doing? Is he looking to make the big play? Is he just trying to extend a play to get a guy open? What is he looking for? Is he trying not to throw an interception? I know I have not been timing how long he's holding on to the ball for, and he said that he doesn't feel yesterday when Ryan Wood asked him if he felt like he was holding on there for too long. He pretty much just said no. That was the entire quote.
Yeah. And then this is a frequent criticism of Rodgers. This goes back to the McCarthy days. I think with anything in football, there's always a combination. Sometimes you watch the film or film snippets you see on Twitter, and you see a guy open, but maybe that's not the read. Maybe he's already past a certain point in the progression. Now, I do believe Aaron Rodgers does look for the big play, and I do believe that's part of it. I think sometimes routes aren't the best or a guy isn't open, so it's always something. And I think it just speaks to, Olivia, the fact that this passing offense just hasn't found itself yet, and I don't think it will. I think this is what the Packers are going to deal with. Packers fans have to deal with to whenever the season ends, and it's something that will be better in 2020. And I say that based on experience of watching this offense elsewhere in the league. So yeah, it'd be great if he got it out faster and found open guys, but they need to be open. And yeah, he's not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to take that chance.
Yeah, to those points, Larry asks a similar question. Is it the Packers receivers not getting open, or is it Aaron Rodgers holding on to the ball for too long? Can it be both?
Yeah, and I know that there's a thought, too, of Rodgers throwing a guy open, because he can be so accurate. I think he picks and chooses those spots. I mean, there was the long play to Aaron Jones where he kind of just dropped it in a bucket, towards the sideline. So, yeah, he can do that. But sometimes it's got to be on the Aaron Jones missed throw, Matt LaFleur said, Jones, his route adjustment was incorrect. He went inside. He was supposed to go outside, and that's where Aaron threw the ball. So it's always I think it's always a combination. It's never just one thing all the time.
Right. You can only see so much just from the play. If we are not on the inside, knowing exactly what's exactly supposed to happen, what the adjustment's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. We get this question perhaps now every live stream. We'll keep answering it. Josh asks, is Ryan Grant going to play on Sunday? The wide receiver has been inactive for every single game so far this season that he has been with the team, going back to, how long has he been with the Packers now?
Was it the Oakland week?
Was that week 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a while. That's been a long time. And
I mean,
probably not.
At this point, we'll see him if he play. I mean, we'll see him if they do make him active. I mean, clearly they have their group. We've actually seen the snap counts go down for Valdez-Scantling, for Kumaro. So if those guys aren't getting on the field, I don't see how Ryan Grant fits in. Obviously, he's, I know the head coach said it's always a competitive thing in practice. Well, then to me that means Ryan Grant isn't outperforming the other guys in practice. So he's there. I mean, I think if a guy gets hurt, look at it this way. He's kind of like what Darius Shepard was to start the year. I mean, Darius Shepard was never, other than the kick return, he was never going to play receiver. So it just so happens that right now Ryan Grant's the odd man out.
Gotcha. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you head on over to PackersNews.com for all of your Packers news. Also, make sure you're following us on all of our social media channels so you can get lots and lots of updates as we finish out the rest of the season. It's almost over. Yeah. Kind of bittersweet, kind of exciting, also kind of sad. Sad that we're holding on to the last couple of games. Cherish these memories
Packers
and these
fans
live
think they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
We can
2 months
we can be doing this for another 2 months. I should watch my words.
Yeah.
Who knows? We can save that discussion maybe for another